Hey everyone, in this FIFA 23 how to buy players in manager career mode, that's exactly what we're going to be looking at. So I've started a new career here on manager career, and the first thing you want to be looking at if you're not at the start of your career is move over to office with RB. And you want to be looking at the calendar just to make sure that the transfer window is open. So when you're looking at the calendar, you can see there just behind me, it says transfer window opened. So all is good. I can search the transfer market and buy players in various different ways. Now, the way this works is a little bit different to other systems in FIFA 23. So if you're in Ultimate Team, it's quite easy. But in here, it's a little more difficult. So the first thing you would expect is you go to transfers, and you'd be messing around in here. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can search for players. Now, this works if you know a particular player that you're after. So you could do a search for a player. Let's say, I don't know, let's start with A and see what comes up. And we will get a rough idea of a player here. But the only hint we get onto who the heck they are is their name. So that's going to work well for some things. But it's also given their age, and that's about it. So if you know the player you want, you can do that here. So let's say Laporte here. I see a bit of information about him. I can see the value, the wage. Now he's beyond my value, so I'm going to go back out. And this is sort of the problem here. We can see a bit of information, but not enough really to make a decision. So if I reset that, another thing I can do is go into here and go transfer status, submit search. Sorry, not transfer status. Let's do that again. So I'll jump in here. I'll just hide my camera while we look at that one. And I could say transfer listed for loan, not listed, release clause, free agents. So free agents can work quite well. That means they're not available. They are available, but they're not with a club at the minute. So we'll go with that, and we'll sort of lower the age range. So I'm going to say I'm interested in younger players. So we can do that. I'll back out here. The other thing I'm going to do is narrow down my region. I'm just interested in England. And let's say I'm after a particular position. So let's say I'm after a striker. All right, so we'll go attack here. I'm not bothered about league because obviously they're free agents, so they haven't got anyone. Now, this has come up with absolutely no one in that area. So what I'm going to do now is extend that search. So I'll go to any region and I'll change that to free agent again. So submit search, and now we start seeing free agents around the world. Now you get a vague idea what this player is about, and these are a bit of a risk, but they are free agents. So you can see a bit of information, and what you're looking for is a player with good green ratings that is above what your current team is like. So you can see this one here looks quite interesting, centre forwards, but that's not really going to suit my sort of area. This guy here, Luis Chavez, looks very interesting, 26 age rated, but looks like a good overall player. So I'm going to select that player there. I could ask my scout to scout him, but that's going to take 10 days. And the point about that is that will give me an overall rating for him, his value, wage, and helps me negotiate a little bit better. So I could say search that, and I'm going to do that in this case. So we can see a better value. So I'm going to do that and say scout him. I'm also going to shortlist him in the transfer hub, but wait for that scout report. So I will have a little look at some other ones. So this guy here, Gallardo, looks an interesting player as well. And this one I'm going to take a risk on. I'm going to show you buying this player without a scout report. So we're going to say this one here, shortlist in the transfer hub. Okay. So that's two. So that's you going in manually and finding players. The other thing I could do is narrow down the age rate in here. So let's get ourselves a very young player as well. So I'm going to go 16 to 20, submit the search, and just see who comes up. So we're looking again for a green report. You can see very little as a free agent here. There's a centre back here, could be potentially good. So I'm going to use that one. So we will shortlist it in the transfer hub. So the other thing you've got the ability to do is if you come back out, you have scouts, which are a much better way of finding more accurate information and finding interesting players in a region. And if we look at the scouts themselves at the minute, when you start the game, you have 3 scouts to begin with. So you can see each scout has a judgment rating. So my best scout is Charlie Manning. And he's scouting there and he's found 15 players at the minute. So we're going to have a little look at that in a minute, but the first thing we're going to talk about is, you obviously want to know how to buy a player, so we're going to see that first. So to do this, we go over to Transfer Hub, and we have Chavez here. So this is the one that I thought was quite interesting, 26 years old, and we can have a little look at him. We could have a little look at this one or this one. So I'm just trying to think which one we had. Is he being scouted? Yeah, so Chavez is being scouted. We're going to leave that one to be scouted so you can see the difference. Gallardo, I'm going to go in blind and see what happens here. So we're going to here, press A or X on the PlayStation and approach to sign. So this will then start a, sort of a option to buy this player. So you come into this area here, we get a little intro sequence here, and we're going to go through the negotiation process. You can skip it with A and come to the first stage. So the first one is, what's his role going to be at the club? So I have no idea here. So I could say, prospect, sporadic, rotation. So I'm going to go a rotation player and see what he thinks about that. He doesn't work. He wants to be the highest profile, always and almost always start. So it's up to me whether I want that. So crucial role. We'll have a go with it. We'll say yes. So he's looking for a 1-year deal. I could counter it and change that deal if I wanted, but I'm going to accept. So I'm using the left stick to move to accept and then A to select. We can agree to that. We weren't thinking about including a release clause, so we'll go with accept as that as well. And then we come to the wage. So he wants at least 13,500 a week and a signing on bonus of 39,000. So it's up to you whether you want to counter that. Obviously, a free agent, that's a pretty good deal, spending 39,000 to get him to come to the club. That's going to keep the player happy. You could counter it and make it a little bit less if you want to get a better deal. So let's have a little go with that. So I'm going to say, let's lower the signing bonus to say 29,000. And I'm going to lower his wage a little bit as well. Now, if it bumps down like by this big amount, what you can do is hit Y to edit and then come here and lower it to whatever you want. So I'm going to say, I want 11,500. I'll apply that and we're going to advance with that and see what happens. So we'll submit the offer. So does that work? No, he's saying a minimum of 13,500. So it's like, that's what he wants to join, so I'll accept in this case just so you can see that we've purchased a player. So there we go, we'll skip and we've got this player. So did we get a good deal or did we not? This is what the game then shows you. And you can see we get a rating. We got a rating of A because he's a free agent, excellent deal. And overall rating of 76, so he is a good player. For my team, a new star player, so rated really well. So although we manually looked for him, we got a good deal. If we compare him to another player in the team, you can see he's a good all-round player, but his wage is much higher than the other player. But if we want a much better player, he's going to cost us more. So we advance that. Now, what I'll do now is skip forward to getting a more detailed view on this guy here with our scout report. Just so you can see how that works. So if you were going to do that, you just progress the game, and I'll skip that bit just so you can see what's going on. So I'll just skip forward. So the scouting period time has finished, and I've got a report here. So it says Luis Chavez. I've got a report for you here. So that'll pop up as soon as that scouting period is ended, so we can view the scout report. So what this gives us is a detailed rating. You can see he's worth 17 million if we can sign him. He's currently a free agent, so this would be a great deal to get. So let's have a chat with him and see what we can do. So he's in the report there. So what we're going to do is back out here, and we'll go have a little look at our transfers area. So right button over to that, transfer hub. And Chavez is here. So show actions, we're going to approach to sign. So remember, 17 million player in this case. So in he comes, and we're going to get a good deal here, hopefully. So we'll skip. So we can see some information here. Recommended wage of 29,000. So we'll see he wants to be a crucial squad role member. No problem. Accept that. How many years he wants. So we can say whatever we want. I'm going to go with a 2 year, see what he thinks with that. He's happy. Not including a release clause, so we're fine with that. So we'll say yeah. And then the salary. So because we scouted him in this case, we've got an idea of what salary we should give. So I'm going to go with 30,000. and I'll give them a signing on bonus of 30,000 as well and see what they think of that. So we'll advance, submit the offer. So because we had that scout report, we've got an idea what to offer. And they're happy with that, so that's cool. So we've got him on board, 17 million player, hopefully. So we'll skip this. And there we go. We have signed our new player. So everything is good here. He goes through the training period. You can see a bit of information about your player. We then get the report like we did before. A rate, an excellent deal. 78 rated player. A new star player. So we're all quite happy with that. So we can see all is good there. 17 million player. Compared to our other one there, he's going to be expensive, 30k wage compared to our previous player, but he's a much better player, so we're all good there. So once you've done that, you'll see the players in the squad. So if we go to the squad hub, we should find Chavez in there. So if there's Gallardo, so where's Chavez? There you go, 78 rated, centre mid, crucial rating. And if you want to see any more stuff on it, say show actions, you can go into his development plans, you know, all this sort of stuff here. But that's all good. So that's how you do it, my friends. That's how you buy players in Manager Career on FIFA 23. Hopefully that was useful to you. If it was, give us a thumbs up, please. Much appreciated. Any comments, welcome. I'll see you again in another video.